Welcome to the bold analysis. There are 6 strategies that Kenya Kwanza team have laid on table, and these strategies are already, they're kept secrets that I think you should look at, because this is what Kenya Kwanza is doing to counter the national shutdown. And I want us to look at them one by one so that we find out what exactly is this, or what exactly is the stake. But before that, I want to say thank you as Bold family. Within one day, I called it one day, that we come together and stand in solidarity with Mama Evans Kiretu. And yesterday, I paid her a visit. I took there our condolence messages and token. We were able to raise 38,000, yes. And so I went there. We had a good session. She is very strong. And the burial is going to be on Friday. Even though I'm a bit disappointed, even by the local leadership from that area, I've not seen them. I've not seen them in the picture. The civil societies, only one, let me not mention, only one has come in the picture, but not in a very strong way. But we are glad. What I'm glad is Mama is strong. She's very strong. And we pray that God will give us strength. Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to look at these 6 strategies in a good way. The first thing government is doing is counter-protests. The counter-protests is what I listened today to a speech by Kithure Kindiki, and in sounding like warning protesters, Kindiki is asking that those who are pro-finance bill should not interfere with those who are against finance bill. While there could be some, I don't know.
For the avoidance of doubt, non-protesters and other members of the public who hold a contrary view to that of protesters are bound by the same limitations, and they must exercise their right to disagree, if at all, in the same manner, in the same circumstances. The national security organs of our country shall remain neutral, apolitical, but firm in enforcing the law of our country, and no form of lawlessness is going to be entertained whatsoever. Ladies and gentlemen, those who wish to exercise their constitutional right can do so today, tomorrow, every day, because it is their right to do so. But they must also adhere to the rule of law, and they need to make sure that other members of the public who either are not interested in what they are doing or they hold a contrary view are also not inconvenienced or harassed in any manner, including the transportation of the people. In the past, we have seen grave breaches to peace. We have seen people pretending to be protesters, damaging road infrastructure and other amenities built by the taxes and the sweat of the people of Kenya. I dare you to try that. We cannot be a country that condemns violence in the name of exercising human rights. Your right and my right end where the right of the next person starts. I repeat, your right and my right end at the point where the right of the next person starts. Nataka niseme ya kwamba katiba ya Kenya inakubalia mtu yoyote kufanya maandamano ya amani bila kujihami. Lakini katiba hiyo hiyo imesema kwamba wakati mtu yeyote anafurahia haki hii ya kibinadamu ambayo iko katika katiba, ni lazima aheshimu haki za wale watu wengine ambao labda hawahusiki na mambo ambayo anafanya. Kwa hivyo katika wakati huu tumepata habari ya kwamba kuna wananchi ambao wangetaka kujieleza na kuandamana kwa sababu wanatofautiana na maamuzi fulani ambayo yamefanywa yakiwa maamuzi ya umma. Uhuru wao wa kujieleza uko katika katiba. Vyombo vya usalama vya taifa la Kenya vitawalinda ili.
If you support finance bill, then must you come out and show your support, and the other person is protesting. Even today, there were placards in CBD that were saying that leave your parents to work in town. From Kithure Kindike's speech, you will agree with me that there will be splinter groups probably tomorrow. These are traditional, archaic, backward and dirty strategies. I wish, because even if people are to be, even if a splinter group is to come, let's get in public and say, those who oppose finance bill come to the left, those who support finance bill come to this side. Already, those who support finance bill would outnumber, those who oppose would outnumber those who are not, those who are supporting. So this strategy, and it's very important so that Kenyans be wary. If there will be a splinter group, this strategy is supposed to create a conflict within town. And after creating a conflict, maybe between the two, a clash between the two, then what is most, because you can see the kind of anger on politicians, even those, if they are members of the public that will support, I really want to see them. I really want to see their eyes and them asking, being asked, and also them being covered. Then probably after a clash, vandalism would happen, and then claim, and after vandalism, excess force is used with now to legitimize that, you know what, we did this because they were breaking this and that. That would be the understanding. And with that, in that clash, it would actually, or they would also want to achieve a split screen. But I can tell you, there will be no split screen for those who are pro-protest and those who are against protest. That will not be there. There will only be one screen. I am not seeing a split screen, and I can tell you that. So let's not do, and I think, and if you want to realize what the police are saying, let the protesters give them the routes that they will use. Of course, they've already said we'll in CBD. These people are normally dispersed even in CBD. I even wonder why the police are asking for the routes, because even if they are told the routes, they will not allow them to use those routes. These people will protest in town, in the CBD, and they will be tear gassed in that CBD. So I don't understand why the police are asking for the routes, because it's not going to be very useful. But I think this is a very archaic manner. And of course, you can do that in Nairobi. How about Mombasa? How about Kisumu? How about Nakuru? How about other towns? If it is just, if you want splinter, then let it be organic. You know, like the protest was also organic. Also have organic masses coming out and saying, we support finance bill. There are reports that the other day, one senior state house, or the president was meeting some youths in Eldoret. I saw those reports in social media. So I would really want to see, and I think instead of stage managing counter protests, what you should ask for is whether you can get organic masses that's supporting the bill. Second strategy, there is a narrative of crushing NGOs and civil society organizations that are allegedly funding the protest. Today, as you can see here, Chief Justice Willy Mutunga, Khalid, Haki Africa CEO, and I think Isili Voice, Hanifa, presented themselves to DC, to the DCI office, asking if they're to be arrested, and also demanding for the release of those who had been arrested so that police can account for that. And UDA Secretary General Cleophas Malala, while speaking somewhere, probably it's Uko Interior, is saying that there are NGOs that are funding the protest. And this statement came with that one of Russia. I think that was Isaac Mwaura saying Russia, Russia are behind the protests, that Russia are protecting the, the protest is linked to William Ruto's foreign inroads, and some people are a bit uncomfortable. So there is also that angle. Of course, I want to agree with this. There are members of civil society organizations that are in it, but they are generally, that is part of their work. So then they are in their work. But you need to, before you take comfort on some NGOs involved, you need to ask yourself a simple question. Are there Kenyans who are receiving money in their pockets to go and attend the protests? Are there Kenyans that are just putting money and are receiving some money? Because government has done all the intelligence. William Ruto has all the NIS and everyone. If there is some money coming from Europe or where and hitting account of NGO, and that money is being, they can trace the trail of money from philanthropist to an NGO, and from an NGO to an activist, and from an activist probably to ground mobilizers. You have all the machinery to trace that. I think instead of the claim and talking, and you can see some government officers speaking like bloggers, we should just come out and put that evidence out so that people will actually believe you. We're also curious. We're also curious to know what exactly is happening. But being that you're government, you have all the machineries, you cannot present that evidence, then probably you just need to stop talking about it because probably it's not there. Now that is the second strategy. The third aspect I'm seeing is, and I've seen a statement that was released about internet disruptions. This has been spoken by some NGO, I think, has released a statement. In the internet disruptions, you cannot wish them away, because remember the tool of mobilizing that the organizers, and not even the organizers, that protest doesn't have organizers. I want to believe that not all those people that are in Twitter are being called, people are getting out. And there's some people that are buying, and they're listening to what the problem is, and they're saying, let's come out and fight for it. Now, predominantly, Twitter and TikTok and Facebook are the ones that are being used. So if you suppress internet, now let me just explain for you. Do you remember the time when, I think that was in 2018, when Matiang'i shut the TV stations? I don't know if the internet was also shut at that time, but TV stations were shut. And that was at the time of the Raila-led protests. That creates an element of panic. Today, if internet is disrupted, of course, many people will not go to work. Many people will not leave because people want information. So with an element of panic, probably other people might not be able to see what's happening because people want to know is it safe? And I think it will be a bad advice. I can say it will be a bad advice. In fact, not a bad advice, it will be an act of cowardness. Yes. If you shut the internet, it will be an act of cowardness because internet is being used even in government services, e-citizen, what. payment, many other things happening in this country is on internet. Mobile banking is thriving full on internet. So it will be an act of kindness if you see people coming out if they interrupt. But that will be one angle. Number two is dissemination of information, because people are sharing stuff. You know, taking a video when there is something happening, it's not going on right, they take a video, shoot all this and that. So that will be the other third aspect. The other thing I'm seeing and I've been talking about is ban live streaming of events. And what I don't know is whether the Communications Authority or the designated body have programming code of ethics on what can be aired. And of course, this is all in the media law on obscenity, you know, not covert violence, but the mainstream media, not even the mainstream media, the media is a very big, is a very it's very instrumental for protection of the nation and even leading the discourse. Can you just imagine how many people do you think can be shot by police secretly if the lenses are not there? I've seen during this process, you've seen journalists confronting police and asking police, why are you doing that? And when police tries to confront that journalist, you find out that journalist is live. But that being live is even for the safety of that reporter, because ukipiga mtu police, if you they misbehave and that journalist, there is live stream, Citizen, NTV and all that, then you are simply also, the country is going to see and someone would have an element of restraint. And it's at a time when our soldiers are leaving for Haiti. Yes, our soldiers are leaving for Haiti. And during that, we are looking at how it will come out and develop. So that's a bad, and of course, I know I can tell you for sure, if you tell Citizen, if you tell the mainstream media here that don't live stream, they will not go. They rather don't go and attend it. No? The country also wants to see what's going on. I can remember the other time there was a split screen of what's happening in the CBD, where the MPs are also discussing. Number four, the fourth strategy, which is bad, abductions. The abductions, I'm wondering, I've been looking at the trend of these abductions. Activists have been abducted. The son of Attorney General Muturi. Someone was also abducted where? Someone was also just resident in South B. There's an abduction in Mombasa, Bamburi. There's another abduction where? There's another abduction, I think, in Meru. Why don't you just arrest these people? Because if you want to arrest, if you want to, I don't know that these things are arrests or abductions. And after arrest, there is an element of you arrest and then you come and you keep quiet, so that you bring suspense, that no one knows where he or she is. And don't you just arrest? Why don't you just issue warrant of arrest? Issue warrant of arrest that I want so and so to arrest so and so. And if you have a case against someone, that person will just appear with his lawyers. But because the way it is being done, and I don't know whether abductions are, not I don't know whether, am I even asking? Abductions are not in our constitution. We don't have it. So people who explain to the nation that they follow the constitution should explain to us. Today, I was expecting, the journalists were expecting that they're going to have Q&A with Waziri Kindiki. But Kindiki went there and read that press briefing, then walk out without answer, without giving time for questions. Why? Because he knew that Kenyans were going to ask him questions on where is so and so, where is so and so. So he came out, read that press briefing. If you don't want to, if there is no, if it's not there will be no time for questions. Then just send that paper to the newsroom. Just send whatever you have to the newsroom. The newsroom will just read it for the audience. If you don't want, question and answer. Abductions is also supposed to suppress, bring fear. You can see the manner in which they are done. If you look at those CCTVs, they are very scary. Being put in there and people disappear. So those disappearances, I think for me, it's disappearing, those people. And then the cases are not even brought to their logical conclusion. No one is even being charged after some time you are released. There was also another one, sixth one, was on whether there is a standby police or a standby security force on that national shutdown. If the police are going to be overwhelmed, will there be a standby force between the people? That is it. But then, from these strategies, from all these secrets I've seen, it only means three things. Number one, Ruto is so insecure of power. There is insecurity of power that, contrary to what I'm saying, that, I want to listen to this, he feels that. And the conversation with Kenyans is a big ox, that I will want to talk to Kenyans. I want to talk with Kenyans about these things. I don't think it's about talking. The bill, the president have decided the bill will have to pass as it is, and I think there are dark forces behind the finance bill, because you cannot see all this humiliation. You cannot see all this humiliation and you can't change. I've not seen effort, by the way. I've not seen effort to listen. The speech and the press briefing by Waziri was just chest thumping and threatening and warning. But I've not seen a statement from Parliament, from State House, government spokesperson. They're all throwing their hands, speaking while throwing their hands in the air. Neither is any designated office. So any effort to say something, probably like we've listened, that we've tried to make more changes, like this is what we are considering. As we are withdrawing any other amendments they put there, so that they push for the bill to be rejected in total. So it's interesting to look at how things will turn. I believe I still insist and I still believe we just need to have restraint. We cannot throw the baby. Yes. The protesters, give credit. They've generally been peaceful. Just to say the truth. Generally they've been peaceful. There've not been no problem. There've not been any problem. People have been very peaceful. No vandalism. No one has come out and said my shop was broken into. So even if Waziri is talking about those things, I'm wondering, those things are not there. So ladies and gentlemen, that is my take. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So thank you, guys. So I'm living in Kiambu, Karabaine. As I promised you, I was going to visit Mama Evans. Mama Evans at the register ward, just to confirm, and for the order of thanks, then also gave our contribution to this. We said we wanted to stand in solidarity with the Mama. The Mama, on behalf of the bold charity team that I represent, on behalf of my own family, my mom, is also a mother like you. I remember let's share. God give you strength. It's not very easy to do the first one. Some of us are still young, but this is something very big. Tunajua Mungu atakutetea. So just say what? As you take.
Nashukuru sana kwa Mama Evans Kiratu. Nimefurahia nimepokea hiyo token kunisaidia kuzika the best Evans. Ni asante sana na Mungu yenu ndio mnatuangalia na pamoja na sisi. Asante sana kwa kututia.
Asante. So guys, Mama has told us kwamba Evans atazipo on Friday. Yeah, Evans atazipo on Friday. So there are still other plans. Postmortem finally haikufanyika. Tukiingia ulikuwa ifanyika haikufanyika. Yeah, itafanyika on Monday. The cost for postmortem was
5K.
It's 5K. Alafu na the other cost. So Evans will be buried here kwa hii boma on Friday. God willing, if we can also get time, to small and have the witness so that and thank you very much, guys. This was a one-day notice. I'm finally here. And this is what I say, there is solution beyond journalism. And thank you for coming through to be part of this solution, because we cannot sit and complain and just report without being part of the solution. Asante sana.